Every person who has ever dreamed of building $1 million business often starts with the vision of financial freedom, prestige, or even the satisfaction of achieving something that most people will never accomplish. Yet when you peel back the layers of those who have truly walked that path, when you study the entrepreneurs who started with nothing and built enterprises that changed their lives and the lives of others, one principle consistently emerges. The foundation of every $1 million business is rooted in solving a real problem with genuine value. It may sound simple, but it is the very cornerstone upon which empires are built. Too many people make the mistake of chasing money first. They ask, how can I get rich? Instead of asking, whose life can I improve? What problem can I remove? What need can I serve? When you chase money without value, you end up with frustration, burnout, and disappointment. But when you focus on creating value, money becomes a byproduct of the transformation you create in other people's lives. Think about some of the businesses you interact with daily. The most successful ones are not simply companies selling products. They are businesses solving problems. A ride-sharing service did not become massive because people were desperate to download another app. It grew because it solved the frustration of unreliable taxis, lack of availability, and cash-only systems. A tech company did not dominate the world because it made sleek devices alone, but because those devices solved the problem of communication, creativity, and connection in ways people could not even imagine before. Behind every $1 million enterprise lies a deep understanding of human problems and a relentless pursuit of solving them better than anyone else. When you set out to build your business, the very first step is not to design a fancy logo or create a clever social media profile. The first step is to identify a pain point that people are already experiencing. People will pay for convenience, they will pay for solutions, they will pay to save time, and they will pay to reduce stress. If you can stand in the gap between their pain and their desired outcome, you have the seed of $1 million business. The size of the opportunity lies in the size and urgency of the problem you are solving. Minor inconveniences may create small businesses, but significant recurring problems create empires. It is also essential to understand that value is not determined by you, but by the customer. Many entrepreneurs fail because they fall in love with their idea rather than falling in love with solving the customer's problem. You might think your product is brilliant, but if it does not resonate with the market, it has no value. On the other hand, a simple solution that may seem obvious or even boring to you can become a gold mine if it truly addresses what people are struggling with. Real value is always measured in the customer's willingness to exchange their money, time, and loyalty for the solution you provide. Another dimension of solving real problems with value is empathy. To truly serve people, you must be willing to step into their shoes and understand what keeps them awake at night. What are they afraid of? What frustrates them daily? What goals are they striving for but cannot reach because of barriers in their way? When you take the time to listen, observe, and research, you uncover insights that can fuel innovations. Businesses that win at the highest level are not just transactional, they are transformational. They do not simply sell, they serve. They do not just offer products, they deliver outcomes. Now let's take a closer look at why focusing on value first is far more sustainable than chasing money. Money is transactional and short-term. It comes and goes. But value builds relationships, and relationships build businesses. If someone buys from you once and feels no real benefit, they will move on. But if your product or service solves a pressing issue for them, they will return. They will tell others, and your influence will multiply. This ripple effect is how small beginnings grow into million-dollar enterprises. Word of mouth, customer loyalty, and repeat business are byproducts of consistent value creation. This principle is also liberating because it means you don't need to start with massive capital or resources to create something significant. Many people delay their entrepreneurial journey because they think they need funding, fancy offices, or expensive advertising. In reality, what you need most is clarity on the problem you are solving and creativity in delivering a solution. With that foundation, even a small effort can grow into something remarkable. A freelancer solving time management problems for business owners can eventually build a software company. A local chef solving the problem of healthy eating can scale into meal plans, cookbooks, and national franchises. The seed of $1 million business often looks small at the beginning, but when watered with consistent value, it grows into something much larger. There is also a spiritual and moral component to this principle. When you make serving others the focus of your business, you align with a universal law: give and it will be given to you. This is not just a religious idea, but a practical one. The world rewards those who create more value than they consume. When your business is genuinely improving lives, you will not need to beg people to buy. They will seek you out because you have positioned yourself as a trusted problem solver. Money will find its way to those who are indispensable in meeting human needs. Of course, solving real problems requires commitment and resilience. It is not enough to create value once. You must do it consistently and better than alternatives. Competitors will emerge, markets will shift, and customer expectations will evolve. The businesses that endure and grow are those that continually refine their solutions, innovate when necessary, and stay in tune with the needs of their audience. Value is not static. It is a living exchange that must adapt as circumstances change. Think also about the psychological shift this principle requires. When your focus is on money, you tend to operate from scarcity and fear. You think in terms of how much can I extract? But when your focus is on value, you operate from abundance. You ask, how much can I give? Ironically, the more you give, the more you receive. Customers feel the difference. They can sense when a business genuinely cares versus when it is simply trying to take their money. Authenticity and service create trust, and trust creates long-term revenue streams. Practical application of this principle begins with research and observation. Study the people you want to serve, conduct surveys, read reviews, join forums, and ask questions. Often people will tell you exactly what they need if you are willing to listen. Look at your own life as well. Some of the greatest businesses were born because someone solved their own problem and realized others faced the same challenge. Once you identify the problem, design a solution that is simple, accessible, and effective, then test it, improve it, and deliver it consistently. Over time, you will refine your approach until your business becomes the go-to solution in your market. Consider the story of entrepreneurs who started with nothing but an idea and a willingness to serve. Some began with handmade products sold from their garage. Others began with digital courses or services offered online. None of them were extraordinary in resources at the beginning, but all of them were extraordinary in their commitment to solving problems. The marketplace rewarded them not because they were lucky, but because they stayed faithful to the principle of value creation. If they could transform their humble beginnings into million-dollar outcomes, the same principle can work for you. Remember that every sale you make is not just a transaction, it is a transfer of trust. Someone is trusting that your product or service will solve their problem. Honor that trust by delivering beyond their expectations. When you underpromise and overdeliver, you create raving fans. Raving fans are more valuable than paid advertisements because their testimony carries authenticity. They will advocate for your business in places your marketing budget could never reach. That is the multiplying effect of value-driven entrepreneurship. As you reflect on your own entrepreneurial journey, ask yourself not, how can I get rich quickly? But rather, what real problems exist around me that I can solve? You may discover opportunities in your community, in your industry, or even in global markets. Problems are everywhere. The question is whether you have the vision and discipline to transform those problems into pathways for growth. The greater the problem, the greater the potential reward for the one who solves it. Ultimately, the road to building $1 million business from scratch is paved with the bricks of service, empathy, and consistent value. It requires shifting your mindset from taking to giving, from chasing money to attracting it by solving problems that matter. The principle is timeless, universal, and proven. Serve people deeply, and wealth will follow. Money is a reflection of how well you have served the world. If you want to build something that lasts, something that scales, something that brings fulfillment and legacy. Commit yourself to the pursuit of value. Every great business starts there, and yours can too. Every journey to building $1 million business from scratch starts with one foundational truth that cannot be ignored, a truth that separates those who simply dream of wealth from those who actually create it. You cannot build lasting success by chasing money alone. You must build it by solving a real problem and doing so with genuine value. Money is not the foundation. Value is. If money were the foundation, everyone who tried to get rich quick would be wealthy already. But the reality is that the people who have reached financial abundance are the ones who committed themselves to serving others at a higher level. They focused on improving lives, eliminating pain points, and bringing clarity where confusion once lived. When you think about the greatest businesses in history, what made them remarkable was not that they wanted to make millions, but that they wanted to fix something that was broken. A company that transformed transportation did not begin with a vision of charging people for a ride. It began with the idea that getting from point A to point B should not be stressful, unreliable, or unsafe. A company that transformed communication did not start with the dream of selling expensive devices. It began with the belief that connecting with the world should be seamless and accessible. The principle never changes. People reward you with money when you reward them with value. And the deeper the value you provide, the greater the rewards you will receive. This is why the first question of an aspiring entrepreneur should not be, what can I sell to make money? But rather, what is the problem I can solve better than anyone else? When you approach your business with this mindset, you position yourself differently from the masses. Most people are stuck in the cycle of chasing income, but income without impact is always temporary. You can make a quick sale through hype, manipulation, or luck, but you cannot build a sustainable $1 million business without impact. And impact is created through value. The truth is that people do not care about your dreams of financial freedom. They care about their problems. They care about the frustration they feel every day when they cannot find the solution they are looking for. They care about the goals they have been trying to achieve, but keep falling short because no one has given them the right tools or guidance. They care about their fears, their obstacles, and their desires. When you step into their world and provide something that genuinely helps, you become more than a business. You become a trusted partner in their progress. That is the kind of connection that produces loyalty, repeat business, and referrals. That is how small beginnings grow into $1 million enterprises. It is also important to understand that value is not about what you think is useful. It is about what the market believes is useful. One of the biggest mistakes entrepreneurs make is falling in love with their own idea instead of falling in love with solving the customer's problem. You may have a product or service that you believe is innovative, but if no one is willing to exchange money for it, then it holds no value in the market. On the other hand, something as simple as convenience, speed, or peace of mind can be worth millions to the people who need it. Value is always determined by the end user, not by the creator. This is why humility is essential in business. You must listen, observe, and adapt instead of forcing the world to accept your opinion. Consider the entrepreneur who built a business empire from scratch by paying close attention to what people were complaining about. Instead of assuming he had the answers, he immersed himself in the experiences of his customers. He asked questions, he studied behaviors, and he uncovered the hidden frustrations that people had accepted as normal. By solving what others ignored, he created a solution that people were willing to pay for repeatedly. That is the essence of value creation, identifying the silent frustrations people live with and offering them a better way. Solving problems is not just about products or services, it is about transformation. People are not buying a tool, they are buying the outcome that tool provides. They are not buying a consultation, they are buying the confidence, clarity, or relief that comes afterward. When you understand this deeper level of value, you stop competing on price and start competing on impact. Businesses that compete only on price usually lose because someone will always be cheaper. But businesses that compete on transformation can charge premium prices because they deliver results that others cannot. The beauty of starting from scratch is that you do not need to have massive resources to begin solving problems. All you need is awareness and creativity. Many million-dollar businesses were born in garages, kitchens, or on laptops with no investors and no massive team. What they all had in common was a relentless focus on solving a specific problem for a specific group of people. From there, they refined, improved, and scaled. If you look closely, you will notice that the starting point was never perfect. In fact, imperfection is normal in the early stages. But when you lead with value, people are willing to overlook imperfections because they feel the difference your solution makes in their lives. When you build with value first, something powerful happens. People trust you. Trust is the currency of business. Without it, no matter how clever your marketing is, your business cannot last. With it, even if you are not perfect, people will give you room to grow, and they will walk with you through the journey. Every sale is not just a financial transaction, it is an exchange of trust. The customer is saying, "I trust that you can help me solve my problem." Honor that trust, and you will never lack opportunities. Break that trust, and you will spend more money trying to replace customers than you earn in revenue. Another truth is that value creates multiplication. When you serve someone well, they do not just come back, they talk about you. They share their experience with family, friends, and colleagues. This organic growth is far more powerful than paid advertisements because it carries the weight of personal testimony. People may doubt your marketing, but they rarely doubt the sincere recommendation of someone they trust. That is how value compounds. One satisfied customer can open the door to 10 new ones, and 10 satisfied customers can open the door to 100. This is the hidden engine behind many million-dollar businesses. It is also worth mentioning that solving problems requires resilience. Challenges will come, competitors will arise, and markets will shift. But when you are anchored in value, you are not easily shaken. Businesses that chase money often collapse at the first sign of trouble because their foundation is shallow. But businesses built on service and problem solving endure because people continue to need their solutions. When times change, you adjust, but your commitment to value remains constant. There is also a moral dimension to this principle. Building wealth by solving real problems means your success is tied to the success of others. Instead of extracting from people, you are enriching them. This creates a sense of purpose that goes beyond profit. Making money feels good, but making money while making a difference feels extraordinary. That sense of contribution fuels you during difficult seasons. It gives you a reason to persist when others quit. It turns your business into more than a source of income. It turns it into a mission. Think about your own life. How many times have you wished for a solution to a problem that no one seemed to be addressing? How much would you have paid at that moment for relief, for clarity, or for convenience? That feeling you experienced is the exact feeling millions of other people are experiencing right now in different areas of their lives. Somewhere in those frustrations lies the idea for your million-dollar business. The opportunity is already waiting, but it requires your willingness to observe, to listen, and to step forward with courage. Building a million-dollar business from scratch by solving problems with value is not just a path to wealth, it is a path to legacy. When you focus on value, you build something that outlives trends. Trends fade quickly, but human needs remain constant. People will always need better health, better relationships, more time, more clarity, more peace, more freedom, more opportunities. If you dedicate yourself to addressing these timeless needs, your business will not just survive, it will thrive across generations. At the heart of this journey is a simple yet profound principle: give before you receive. The world is wired in such a way that when you give freely, when you pour value into others, the rewards inevitably return. This does not mean you work for free, but it means you position yourself as a servant leader in your market. You show up with the intention to contribute, and in doing so, you elevate yourself above the noise of those who are only in it for themselves. In the long run, the market always favors the giver. So, if you truly want to build $1 million business from scratch, start by shifting your focus. Stop asking how fast you can make money and start asking how deeply you can make an impact. Stop asking what product you can push and start asking what problem you can solve. Stop obsessing over competition and start obsessing over contribution. If you do this, the money will not just come, it will multiply. Wealth will follow value like a shadow follows light. Every great business you admire today started with this principle, and every great business that will exist tomorrow will follow it as well. The opportunity is waiting for you, not in the pursuit of dollars, but in the pursuit of service. The moment you commit to solving real problems with value, you step onto the path where million-dollar businesses are born. It may not happen overnight, but it will happen inevitably because value always attracts reward. Would you like me to make this more fiery and rhythmic, like a motivational speech you could deliver on stage, with pauses, rhetorical questions, and emotional pull? Or keep it in this essay-like keynote expansion tone?